So this is really just a committee as a whole, right?
You see it on here?
Okay, we got everybody here, and we'll get started. We'll get a whole meeting we'll call it to order pertaining to this year's budget, so we'll get it started. Everybody's had a chance to go through the budget, and I'm hoping to save time, I think, in working a lot of stuff around circles here. There's a line item in my mind that is not shown on the budget, but I think we need to make a firm decision one way or another and a commitment on which direction we're going to go with our fire hall. And in saying that, that's going to change the approach of our budget, in my opinion, fairly substantially on our approach. So we don't want to work our budget round circles and come back and decide we're going to build a new fire hall. So I think to get it done right up front here, we'll make that decision now as to how committed we are on this thing, and that'll set the direction on our budget, in my opinion. Randy, I'm going to start with you.
I think we need to move forward with a new one, and if possible, because we're not going to be built this year, split it into 2 years.
Gary? Amy?
No, it's not working.
Because I'd like to say to be recorded. I hit the button. Hit it once. And it's not red. Thank you. Okay, I agree with you, Mr. Chair. The first thing I did notice is that we didn't have budget. A fire hall's not a wish list item. It's a community need. It's a priority. Council supported the build of a new fire hall when council passed a supportive motion. A new fire hall is also a priority set out in our fire review that took place last year. Funding for a new fire hall can be met by using federal gas tax revenue, OSIF if we receive it this year, our reserves, development charges, taxation, and borrowing. I would also like it noted that the roads department will be taking over the old fire hall space. Since this is occurring, keep in mind, federal gas tax dollars can be used for all infrastructure, i.e. a new fire hall. That's all I have to say.
Well, thanks, Councillor Meaton. You covered off a whole lot of stuff, which is a good thing. I'd only like to say that I appreciate what's been done here with the budget, because what it does is it gives us a good framework to build on. I like the idea of doing it with this tax increase. I'm not saying that's the one that we're going to agree on, but I do like what we have in front of us because it gives us a good place to start from. If you go through the budget, there are plenty of places where we can take out money to build ourselves a new fire hall. I agree with Councillor Rowe. I can see this being done over a 2-year period with work in progress starting sometime this spring, late spring maybe. I'd only like to remind everyone that this is an effort that we all have to do together, and that in the past, generations built this hall, and you have to believe that they struggled to find money to do it then. We probably have it easier today than they had it then. So, once again, I look forward to working with this budget, and I do think that is very doable and we can also keep everything that's important to the taxpayer in place. Garbage, recycle, roads, all that kind of good stuff, gravel. There's a way that we can build a fire hall and keep our roads infrastructure in place, which I believe is so. Well, I look forward to carrying on with this today and working with all of you to set the fee for years to come. Thank you.
Okay. It pleases me to see that, or to hear that we have a unanimous decision on our direction moving forward. So that's for our budget. So I have to agree with Deputy Mayor Rowlands in the fact that I think we've been given a good budget to start with. I like the bite 2.5. If we come within that, or one way or another, we'll be doing very good. From going through this, I believe the money's in there to work with. Our jobs this morning is just to juggle that around and move finances from here to there and figure out how we're gonna come up with what we need, so. That is enough of that. We will get into the numbers. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we need to go through this budget line by line. A lot of the first couple pages, unless somebody has something high, are not changeable as far as just the regular day-to-day business goes. So, since we got we've made a decision on where we're going, so I'm gonna ask him to come to the table, and when we talk this fire building, we'll talk to see what his needs are first, so.
So we're going to fire first, Mr. Mayor?
I believe so.
Okay.
My instruction through the province with last week I had a call with a teleconference call with the Ford and all the ministers and health unit and stuff, and I asked the question, and even on how are these meetings work, Randy, with our mask and stuff, and they said we're good to meet as long as we keep our numbers to a bare minimum and wear our masks. So by keeping our numbers to a bare minimum today, we're just gonna bring the department heads in, if you will, one at a time, like Jason, Lynn, Mike. We're doing our due diligence that way as far as keeping our numbers down in here, so just in person. So Jason, if you will, we'll have you come up and join in here. I think we'll go to the fire because Jason's here, and we'll just get our framework as to what we want to do and see on this building. So then we'll take it from there. I guess, Jason, over and above the building, for budgetary reasons, what else would you like to see this year in your fire budget?
Well, not really much over the building itself. I mean, obviously, we were gearing up. We'd like to see the washing machine for the bunker suits to come into play. But again, there is budget and line items there that we could probably use that's right in the present budget, right? So I don't think I need any add-ons as far as that goes. As well as I know there is some funds sitting in our fire association account as well to assist with some of the smaller needs. So
How much might be there, Jason?
I didn't get the last readout, but I believe it's somewhere around just shy of $10,000. So
Okay.
Also, as mentioned in some of the other meetings, we're looking at that fundraising events and stuff as soon as we can have restrictions
Oh, yeah.
lifted, so.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, Jason, can we ask Jason a question then? So we're gonna be going through each one of these, departments, and in order, we gotta come up with at least 700 grand today to put towards the fire hall this year, in my opinion. Councilor Rowe mentioned the 2-year, I agree with that, I think we can do this. So my question to you, Jason, is, we have, last year in fire equipment purchase replacement, we spent 6168. Could you get by this year if that number was 12,500?
Most of our purchases were there last year, so again, I don't see any drastic,
So,
right?
so what I'm asking you, can we move 20,000 of that dollars to the fire hall?
I would say we could do that, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Deputy Mayor, what line was that?
So it would be under fire equipment purchase replacement. The budget would read 12,500 and 20,000 would go to the fire hall.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I believe in our equipment repairs. I'll know more after today, but I believe that should be able to be reduced drastically as well. We did do a lot of substantial repairs to the trucks last year. And I believe the safeties and such will not be to the extent of what we spent last year.
Jason?
I think it's fire equipment repairs and maintenance. It's $30,000 budgeted. Last year we spent 27,000.
What could you make it this year? What do you want?
I want to say that I'm hoping we're going to be in the range of somewhere around 12 to 15,000 is what's going to be needed.
So if we made that 15, we could move 15 to the fire hall?
But again, I don't really want to hold right onto that until I know today, because the mechanics in there today do.
Oh, okay. But it could be
But it's
possible.
possible, yeah.
Okay, well, possible's possible. We're not completing today. Thank you. So we moved 20,000 to fire equipment purchase replacement. We put 20,000 in the fire hall. And on fire, Jason said fire equipment repairs and maintenance, line item 821346462. We can move 15,000. So that's a total of Jason's budget of 35,000 to the fire.
The rest of the numbers pretty much like it's
Okay,
heating
sure.
costs, internet stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't see a drastic change there.
okay.
Everybody okay with those changes? Henry?
If you do look at your reserve listing of December 31st, 2020, I've taken some of these numbers and put 45,000 in for the fire equipment. So that's a little bit
Shy of what we,
shy of what we just talked about.
okay.
And it's related to funds not spent in 2020. That's actually going to be on tomorrow night's agenda for reserve transfer.
Yeah, I see that.
2022. Some of these things we will get approval for.
No, well, I do, so, yeah, but so moving forward today though, could we just concentrate on the numbers in front of us so that we all don't get, because if we start bouncing around looking at what is tomorrow night's reserves, I understand what's tomorrow night. But that won't help us get through this budget today, I don't think. But we're just asking today, I think what the mayor's asked for is that we go through this to see what, because this is the budget amount of money for this year, right? So how do we build a fire hall out of this money? Well, we just started with, Jason's, in his opinion, $35,000 that we can take out of this budget and put into a new budget. Does that make sense?
But in that fire reserve, or in that reserve page though, that 210,000 money not spent last year,
Well, you can, when we get to that in the budget, then Mr. Mayor, I would suggest that's when we talk about it.
you want to go through all this,
Yeah.
then add that 210.
So build your budget,
Okay,
like, as you go through your budget, build your budget from what you have.
okay.
Don't look forward, work with what you have.
Yep, okay,
You'll get there,
yep.
or we'll get there. Mr. Mayor, is it, can we ask Jason about EMC? Is it, or when do you want to do that?
The EMC?
Well, it's just that he's like to ask about an EMC.
Well, let's find out what, if it's the same one I had highlighted here.
Okay.
Let's find out what that is.
Oh, okay.
I've got questions for Anne Marie, actually.
Oh, okay.
That was the EMC meetings?
Well, yeah, well, my question maybe is the same as your question. I don't understand why, so it says emergency management wages. So when everybody goes to an EMC meeting, they're all getting paid. The people that show up, like you, all the staff. So do we have to budget $10,000 in EMC for wages if everybody that goes to the meeting is already getting paid? What's up for?
What is that line item?
That is related to the wages spent on COVID funds, on the COVID pandemic right now. So I just show wages separately, and that will eventually come out of the COVID expenses. It's on my little spreadsheet here too. So it's COVID-related expenses, the cleaning that the staff do, not just the meetings, regular emergency management, and everything related, wage-related to the pandemic.
We don't really hire anybody extra, do we?
No, it's our own staff.
So why is it look like it's a cost item, but?
Because I'll use myself as an example. I would pull, let's say, $2,000 from admin wages and put it in emergency management wages so that we can use the COVID pressure funds, take that expense off.
Okay. So what you're saying is then that if you work on EMC on this, you take $2,000 out of this year amount of money to pay your wages, right?
It comes out of admin and it goes here.
So how many times have we budgeted for this? Because admin is the same as it was last year. So
Updated because I don't have cost of living increase yet.
it won't be $10,000.
No, but if you add Lynn, if you add the guys cleaning, you add Shannon cleaning, Amanda doing stuff, me doing stuff, it adds up.
But my point is, we already budget for your wages. You are gonna get paid, no matter where the money goes.
That is correct.
So why do we have to take this $10,000? Because this is real money, this ain't fake. This is, so we got your real money that you already get paid. Then we add on $10,000 to this account that pays for whatever. But do we really need that $10,000 in that account? Because everybody that comes to meetings already gets paid for out of their admin account or on a facility or whatever. So why do we need $10,000 in that account?
Because I pulled the wages out from admin, from roads, from facilities and put it here.
Okay, so you're saying that,
Yes,
so when we get to the admin account, administration looks to, on the budget, like it's 173,000. But what you're saying is you plan on administration being a lot more.
do not. It all depends on what cost of living increase council will approve tomorrow at council meeting.
That's an extra 10,000 in the budget overall for all the people that come.
It is not extra, Larry. I am going to pull 10, 4, 5 different places and put it here, which I have done.
You've brought that $10,000 from every little piece to create that.
Yes,
So all those other little areas should be down that little bit
yes,
less.
yes. And this.
So this is not additional.
It is not additional, and this emergency management will be funded by the COVID funding that we have received in 2020.
So do we need that? My question is.
Yes.
Do we need that?
Yes, because we did not spend all of the COVID 2020 money. It has to go into reserve, what we didn't spend, and in 2021, we have to spend it. So that's here.
So,
Yeah.
You have to turn your mic on.
well, if we can't take the 10,000, we can't take it.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, back, do we have anything more for Jason? Does anybody else got anything for Jason?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Not that I want to take it away, Asian. With the fire training with COVID, is that number still realistic for this year? I know there's training that has to be done, but is this the realistic number for this year? It's just above the fire equipment purchases, or sorry, just above the fire repairs one. Your mic's off, please, sir.
So yeah, the training will still go on. Again, this might be one of the line items that's kind of cross references to some of the wages. Last year, we did use Southwest Training Academy. This year, we are hoping to do the same for another recruit. But as you can see, there was last year's spent was only 18,000. So I would say we could pretty easily reduce that by
Leaving at 25?
20 to 25,000. Yeah, I would say we could. Again, a lot of the training regards from COVID and how we are right now. As of for January, we didn't do any training. I actually shut it down just because we didn't know where we were going. So that we missed them 2 trainings. Moving forward, if the pandemic is staying in the lockdown mode, we'll probably move of the training so that they can go online and do some training from home. And we are still going to do truck checks and a little bit of movement around here just so that everything will be operable when we need it. So yeah, I would say it's pretty easy. We can at least 20,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we put that as a 25,000 budget and move 20 into the hull?
I would say it's pretty doable. Yes.
Okay.
Confirm at 25,000, Jason? For the budget?
It's at 42.
Well, it was 18 last year.
Yeah.
That's why I was, I mean, if you stay with what you did last year, a little bit more, that's why I was saying stay with 25.
Can we leave it at 22 so that leaves me 20,000, leaves me a little blanket there?
No, I go say 25 in your budget.
Oh, okay, yes, that's fine.
25 in your budget
Yeah.
and 20 over to the hull.
That's fine, yes.
Not that I want to take away from training. I know training is essential.
Amy, anything for Jason?
No, everything's been answered. Thank you.
Carrie? You good?
I think it's like, I'm glad we're leaving some money in the training because I think we could see things flip around where there's extra training that's
Absolutely.
required. So I think it's important that we do pad it a bit, yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's a good start from one department. Shows that what we want to achieve here. So, okay, if we have nothing more for Jason.
Are you gonna go to the reserves part, or you want me here for that part, or do I need to be, or? I don't really know a lot about the reserves, but.
I think with all these, I'll have to go back once we go through everything today and readjust everything. And then at the next meeting, we can verify all of that information.
Okay.
Did you have any specific questions on that, Jay?
Not really, no. I kind of flip back and forth. I see like on the front page line item there, we have 260,000, which I believe was from last year's left over, and then we're gonna contribute another 50 this year. I went into the back page there, a little bit lost where it comes into the 122 and stuff, but I think it's just the adding over the years. So as long as it's the 260 and adding the 50, that's really all that matters to me, so, yeah.
Mr. Chair, when Jason is here though, to give him an idea of where we're headed, appreciate the fact that you did take the time to understand our need. Maybe we could commit that 260,000 in reserves and add it on to Jason's number that he has here to, right now. There's probably not any reason why we can't. That's what it was for, the fire hall. Only a suggestion.
Amy?
I actually did have a question about the fire reserve too, because when we look at the November unaudited financial report, we do have 260 in it, and then have a 50. So 260 plus 50 is 310. So I was wondering if that could be clarified, why we don't have $310,000.
So in 2020, I started with 150. We added 50. We were gonna spend 260. So that included the 50 we added. But we didn't spend the 260. So that difference is $10,000. So we actually only added 60,000 at the end of 2020. Because we didn't. Does that make sense?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so like if we look at the unaudited financial report, okay, on there under the budget, it says 260 for, I'd have to look it up, and then there's a 50 under it, and it was in our budget last year, a 260 plus a 50. So I don't know. I just even if you could look at that and maybe find a good explanation.
I can show it better on a piece of paper. I will pull January 1st, 2020 meeting, or I can just email it to everyone, and I'll lay out the path of how this number is.
But there is 260,000.
There's 260 there.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's what we really know what we got.
There's 260 there.
Anything more for Jason? Any more questions? Okay. Thanks, Jason. We'll do the best we can here. Okay. Yeah, I think probably if we go to, is Mike available? I think that'd be our next biggest one is roads, so
Sure.
let's
Yeah, we can do that, Mr.
do that one, then
Sure.
we'll,
So Shannon's listening to our talking. We just have to make sure we turn on our mics every time we want to talk and turn them off.
okay.
Just so she can hear it.
Okay. Moving on to roads here. So I would suggest we go to, where we start?